is a hay basketball that we created. So 2 flower baskets put together, put the straw in, put it. If you're going to use this kind of device, make sure the donkey doesn't have any respiratory disease. We would normally feed from height if you've got a respiratory problem. But you can see it's just really annoying because you can't quite get those options. The resource mapping exercise, the time budgets are there, so it's designed so that you can take this out on a PDF if you want to and share with your staff. You can go and do that, or you can get volunteers or whatever. You've got all that information there. You can, what I want to get to, there's some mutual benefits, there's all these different ideas you can read through. Some ideas thinking about that I have been doing, so I want to show you here. This work, human interaction, food availability, toys. So we can start to open some of those things. It's going to tell you more about some ideas for toys and those sorts of things. Recycled rubber tire buckets. You know, you get those ones that you've been recycled, the black ones usually. Put one of those out. They love to kind of beat each other over the head with those. Then we start to get into where I put in lots of ideas. So this one here is the flavoured water.
I would just caution, if you're going to do that, always make sure you have a plain source of water available as well. Don't make all your water flavoured, because if your donkey doesn't like the flavour of tea you've chosen for the day, you're going to end up with dehydration.
Definitely. So, and then all of these are different exercises that anybody want to see one of these? Which one you look at? Check one out. If you don't have tools, you can replace it with this one. This is a weed forage net. So what we've done here is to take like some brambles or some weeds, some tools, put them in a small hole, hang it up safely, and allow them to have access to places like that.
Yeah, thistles are right. They like thistles for the same reason.
Yeah. Just a bit of magic. So you've got this whole resource with all of these different things in. There's an enrichment reporting sheet. So if you guys have got ideas, you can fill that in, send it back in, and tell us, wow, that's amazing. We've done this and we've done that, and then we can begin to add this resource to other people.
We have a blackberry bramble hedge that runs through their area, and we've been curious about the sugar content of the leaves. I've actually considered having them tested, but I haven't done that yet because it's there's quite a lot of it, and we kind of restrict one side or the other of it so they can't get too much, but they love it.
Yeah, I've never tested brambles. Again, there are some very beneficial chemical compounds in brambles, also related to metabolic issues. So there's some potential other health benefits to brambles in addition to just enrichment. And partly to the berries as well. So yeah, I would have to test them. I don't know, but I don't know if I would allow them to have free access to brambles. Plus, it wasn't a lot of time.
One of the things that I think is becoming more and more exciting about enrichment, and there's some talk about it in the document there, is about having a track system. Some of you may have paddock paradises, but just having a track system. So instead of just letting your donkey get onto that space and then just walking back and forth between here and there and a shelter, actually creating the track around the outside of the property that they wander around, and then you put your sand pit here, and then you can do really cool things like at the far end of the paddock, but probably you put the electric fence across the fence, get a block across that bit, so they walk all the way around there, and then they're like, oh, no, down. Now you got to walk all the way back, and go all the way around this other side, or just to get 2 feet from where they originally started. There's a bit more calories, like 7 more calories, I'm thinking that, but I mean, we're creating this imagination that actually we could go a bit further.
And you can make a parrot. You don't have to go around the outside of your property. You can have a 1 acre pasture and just track it in lines back and forth and make them walk like half an hour. And if you put your water in one corner and your gate or feed in the other, they have to walk back and forward however many times. Electric fencing is your friend.
Yeah, you can move it. And there's ideas in there in that book for so in donkey care, the handbook that we have, which you can download on the Donkey Sanctuary website. There's a kind of an example of what we're thinking about, some talk about that in there, and you can find out about that online. A little bit of imagination, and it can help with dieting, it help with exercise, member stimulation, all those sorts of things.
But your thing here, is that on the donkey Sanctuary?
No, that's on that separate. There's a separate website. There will be a link on the Donkey Sanctuary website to it, but also on your app, if you have that, then you can get it through there. Or if you still can't find it, just email me at the Donkey Sanctuary and I'll send it to you. But just to kind of tidy up a little bit here, I wanted to talk about treats and rewards versus enrichment and training. And I think that's because your treats are kind of for that enrichment process. If you want to give some treats, you want to hide them, this is scatter feeding, so she's just not throwing things at the donkey. I think technically you can see a few slices of carrot going through the air here. About to land on this unsuspecting donkey, stimulated by a short gallop around the paddock. But the point is here is that it's what we call kind of treats is one thing, and we're using those to provide stimulation and some enrichment possibilities. Cool. As opposed to rewards, which we may use for training. And I hear the words kind of used indiscriminately between the two. And I would encourage you to kind of clean that up and sort of, treats are for that enrichment, rewards are for training. Because part of the reason for that is because when people are using positive reinforcement and we want to use food rewards, people call it treats. It's like something special, you're getting a treat, and then people object to that kind of, well, you should be having a treat, and you get fat and all that. But a reward for something. That's part of that positive reinforcement training that we might be doing. I just want to clear up something. A reward is a payment for something you've done. A bribe is an incentive for something you haven't yet done. So standing on the top of the trailer with a bucket of food, trying to tempt your donkey in, that's a bribe. That encourages a very long-necked donkey. Yeah? As opposed to the donkey takes a step forward onto the trailer ramp and then you give him a piece of food for that step forward, that's a reward. And again, donkey owners, really sorry, my experience is that's a really muddy area. What are you giving that reward for? Oh, because he's looking cute. What the hell does he know looking cute gets rewards? So he just happened to be scratching his nose at the time, and then he does it. They're incredibly powerful things. So again, here's the training, using some rewards, fantastic, brilliant, treats for the environment. I just wanted to clear something up. Food doesn't cause equines to bite. It's bad timing that causes equines to bite. Yeah? I've seen lots of equines that eat and they don't bite people. So it can't just be food. But what happens is, it's the timing of the arrival of food and what the donkey thinks works that causes the donkey to bite. And this is based around something called the vending machine syndrome. And what happens is, if you go to a vending machine and you put the money into the vending machine and push the buttons and nothing happens, what do you do?
Kick it.
Everywhere in the world, someone's kicking a vending machine. Essentially what actually happens is this: you put the money in and nothing comes out. Now, depending on how desperate you are for the chocolate bar, you push the other buttons really rapidly again. That's called an extinction burst, because that should work, but it doesn't. You hit the coin return, that's superstitious behaviour. You maybe give a little shake, you have a little look, tap. And if at that point, out comes a chocolate bar, kicking works. That's what I do. Oh, good. Now I've trained vending machines. Next time you go to a vending machine that does not comply and doesn't give you the food, what do? Well, you do that other stuff, you just do it more rapidly, because you know it doesn't work, so you push the button, do this one, and go straight to the kick. Now, if the kick doesn't work this time, what do I do? Kick harder. Yeah, I didn't just kick it right, did I? I need to kick it a bit harder, I need to kick it in a different place, I need to kick it twice, whatever. And you get the concept. So your donkey comes up and they give you that little nuzzle. Oh, bless it. We're giving something to eat. The donkey's cool, that's how you work the vending machine. Come up, you give it a nuzzle, and you get the food. That's fantastic. Now one day the vending machine isn't got any food in it, or it's in its good clothes and doesn't want to be nuzzled. So up comes the donkey and he nuzzles the vending machine. Now the vending machine's broken. What do you do with vending machines that are broken? You nuzzle it harder. And then you maybe give it a little nib on people. Hey, stop it. Do something to keep them quiet. Oh, I got to bite the vending machine to get the food out. If your donkey comes up and he stands quietly to the side, you give him a treat, give him a reward. That's what you're going to do. If he comes up and nuzzles you, there's nothing he's going to do. They're smart enough to be working all this out. Food rewards do not cause equines to bite. You have to train the animal how food rewards work. You can't just roll up in the pen and expect them to get it. They have to know, how does this work? It's really motivating. It's really, really powerful. They want to actually get that food. So they're trying to figure out how they extract the food from you, and you need to be able to make sure.
So I would ask the nutritionist, what I run into a lot is people who say, like if, when he gets a treat, and he gets a treat in a bucket, well, how often does he get that? He gets it every day. It's no longer a treat, that's not part of his diet. And that's how we end up with fat equines. is because we feel compelled. Well, I did some work with him, and he worked really well, so I want to give him a treat. They call it treat, not reward, whatever.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
put half a scoop of nuts or something in a bucket, and you do
Well,
that
I
every
had
day,
to
and
give
it's
some
part
to
of
his
the
friend.
diet.
That's the other one. His friend's about on the bike, so we give his friend a bit, and then the fat one's looking like this.
Right, I'll give him something.
So I give him some as well.
Yeah. So from my standpoint as a nutritionist, not a behaviorist, if you're putting something in a bucket every day as a treat, it ceases to be a treat, it becomes part of that donkey's diet and has to be accounted for in their total daily calories.
I'm happy tomorrow to talk to you about the food rewards down at the barn there. I'm happy to talk to you about this in more detail. Those of you using food rewards or want to carry on doing that, it's absolutely fine. I'm at the barn tomorrow and I'll be there and I'll talk to you about it. In the technical terms of how we do it, but I just wanted to say it can increase motivation. But it may not be suitable for some animals. You may have to train other behaviors first. So if you've got an animal who is particularly excited by food or who is food defensive, then you may need to deal with that first before you use food rewards, obviously. The other thing that can happen, it does increase the capacity for work learning. They very want to do it. They want to add something to that situation, which is much more motivating, maybe even than a scratch, which I'm particularly keen on. But there's some drawbacks. You may wish to train a quiet, calm behavior, and therefore food may be too stimulating. So if you're trying to get like a neuro donkey, a donkey that's maybe a bit nervous, it becomes a bribery. People start doing this and offering to, rather than actually genuinely having that relationship. It may be about doing those sorts of things. Suitable treats. Are you happy with that? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sweeties, turnips, think rutabagas.
But again, like you said, mix it up, and if you're giving it every day, you have to question, what are you going to restrict elsewhere? Because it's not just, we can just add all that in as well and let them have all the food. You're just thinking about these.
I know people worry about fruit and sugar. You have to understand the difference between glycemic index and glycemic load, right? So when you do a glycemic index test, a glycemic index test is based on like 100 grams of sugar, like how you respond to a finite amount of sugar, right? And the response you get to, say, 100 grams of pear sugar is going to be different than 100 grams of dextrose. And that's how you measure glycemic response. And so glycemic index, but when you, but you also have to look at the concentration of sugar in that fruit. So yes, 100 grams of watermelon sugar might stimulate a large glycemic response, but to get 100 grams of watermelon sugar, you have to feed the whole watermelon, right? So the actual concentration of sugar in that watermelon is not very much. So you have to think about that too. So certainly if you have a donkey in metabolic crisis, do not be feeding things on the bottom of this slide, or even most of the slide. But a little bit every now and again is okay.
So occasionally I might use a couple of polos or a ginger biscuit broken up in a training situation with additional high fiber nuts or something like that, just to add extra value. But I wouldn't personally be feeding it and all that sort of thing. Maybe if you're using a ginger biscuit as a medication, so provided not maybe using it every day, but sometimes you've got to get medication into a donkey, make a ginger biscuit sandwich. So you take the ginger biscuit, put the medication in, either this powder, mix it up with some black currant or peppermint cordial, put that in there, put the ginger biscuit on the top, there you go.
Dried prunes work really well. They're
Apple sauce.
Because pitted prunes, they've taken the pits out, it's like having a pill pocket.
Diced watermelon, you can put the tablet in the middle of that. And then we got a video coming out in a month or so about some different ways of getting medication into donkeys and stuff like that. So look out for that. Items that should not be fed.
Yeah, totally agree. I am guilty of feeding Brussels sprouts stalks and broccoli stalks, but I never recommend anybody else do it.
Take that for what you will. Check it out first, think about those things, and interested about the animal products and all. Final kind of message. I'll answer your question. Alright? When I put this on, what are you expecting? Okay. That's all head. Yeah, okay. Here's my point. What I want to make this is people go around with training and they put food in their pockets. How the hell does the donkey know when food is available and when it isn't?
You have to check it out.
So they're nibble, they're in your pockets, they're doing all this. Not only that, but whenever you use food from your pockets and you continue, what happens is the donkey sees you and they goes, here's the vending machine. I do this and that, And it's a lot of stress involved in trying to extract food from the vending machine. So golden rule, and I don't have any golden rules other than this one. You know, this always depends. But this one is, you have to use a bum bag, fanny pack, or a waistcoat that you only use for food or reward-based training, so that you can take it off, and you're not expecting any sweets right now. Are you? Because I don't have my bum bag. And that's absolutely crucial if you are going to use, even if you want to use reward treats and you want to just do it from a bum bag. Because it makes it much easier for the donkey to understand when food rewards are available and when they are not. Absolutely golden rule, because otherwise they are struggling to get in your pocket and do all those sorts of things, and how do I extract the pocket, and it's just a mess. So just think about this, which is why I've been feeding you sweets, so that you remember that you need to use one of these if you're going to use food rewards, because it's so much safer and easier to do.